Hey, it's Amber, and thank you so much for signing up to learn how to train your dog my top four favorite photography poses. So, the first thing you're going to need is obviously some sort of treat pouch and a high value treat or food for your dog. My dogs love this Sunday's air dried food for dogs. It's human grade, and I have a discount link for you below. So, first up, we have the wave, and basically, you're going to want to start out by teaching them how to shake or give their paw. So just start out by tapping their little foot there or trying to lift it up. And as soon as they lift up at all anyway, mark that with the word yes and reward. It's an absolute must that you mark with some sort of word like yes to show them when they've done the right thing. So then you just put that on rinse and repeat. You repeat it a whole bunch of times until it starts becoming more of a habit to them. And make sure right now that you don't say any command word. You don't want to introduce any word until they are consistently doing the action like 90% of the time. So you'll see right here that I gradually lifted my hand higher and higher and went from more of a shake position to a high five position. And now here I'm starting to actually wave or shake my hand and not let them quite hit my hand. And then you can start putting in your command word, which is wave or whatever you want to call it. And this is where you want to start putting some distance between you and your dog, because when you're out in the real world and taking pictures, you're not going to be sitting right in front of them. So you can put them on a bed or an elevated cot or anything that you have taught them to stay on and not move. And just do what I'm doing here and practice from a little bit further away. Next up is head down or flat. So for this, you need to teach a method called luring. So you literally just lure your dog around with a little piece of kibble or treat, whatever motivates them. You hide it under your thumb there and just move them around and reward whenever they dig into your hand to try to get it. So this one can be a little tough to train, but basically I put them in a down and try to lure their head out a little bit. Most dogs will want to inch forward to get the treat, but just try to lure their head out a little bit. And as soon as they offer any movement right there from her head alone, that's when you mark and reward. Here's another angle to hopefully help you understand it a little bit better. You just want their body to stay in the same place and their head to lie flat and hit the floor. Once they understand it, you can start adding some duration using the word good and just making them wait a split second or two before you reward them with that treat.
Yes. Good girl.
Next up is roach or belly. This one can also be a little bit tricky, but it is very similar to teaching them to roll over. However, obviously you don't want them to roll over all of the way. So this one will also use that luring method, and you want to start with them in a down and just cup your hand around their nose there to one side or the other and wait for them to start to rotate their body. And as soon as they rotate their body a little bit, mark and reward. You want to reward for tiny little improvements. They're not going to understand the trick right away, so you have to build up on it. And when they finally do get it, throw a party. This is what it should look like, and they should be able to hold this position for a little bit so you can take a picture. And last but not least is stand. So this is another one that is going to require luring. If you're not sensing a common theme here with dog training, luring is king. But basically you want to lure them into a sit and then quickly flip your hand down underneath them, and they should just naturally stand and pop their legs out. So if they do, immediately mark and reward that. If they're struggling with it a little bit, just move them around and try again. So you can see that Oakley here is a lot more hesitant with it, so I have to use a lot more positive reinforcement and encouragement for her, and that's totally fine. You can also gently place your hand underneath their tummy and try to help them pop up, but sometimes that kind of just makes them more skittish about it. So do whatever makes your dog feel most comfortable.
Yes.
And same as before, you want to start building some duration once they understand it. So keep using that word good. Bring your hand away from them for a split second and then bring it right back and mark with yes. And that is all I have for you guys. If you have any questions or issues, please don't hesitate to reach out, whether it's over Instagram, Facebook, or email.